If he's healthy, is he your best running back?
I don't know about that. I know he's one of our best. I know that's great news. Um, is it a problem? Is it not a problem? How do you split up their carries? How do you keep them happy? I don't know the answers to that. We'll work to figure it out in August. What's important is that the position is productive. If the position group is running for 2+ a game, then we're all going to be happy, and that's what we're going to spend the month figuring out how we get that done. Whether it's more of them on the field, whether it's going with the hot hand, whatever that is, we'll start getting figured out in August, and that will continue into the month of September.
In this day and age, though, of instant gratification, how do you keep these guys happy? I mean, they're all watching ESPN and looking at their stats.
I don't think you do. I don't have any strong feeling whatsoever that we're going to keep all those running backs happy. It's just not going to happen. That's when you hope the importance of the team comes to light, and our team success that's going along with it becomes more important than their individual happiness. But I've coached a lot of victories as an assistant coach and a head coach, and looked in the locker room and seen guys sulking and disappointed, and that's the individual piece, the selfish piece that you got to kick out of your team to really build a great program.
Was David Irvin being, I think, third on the depth chart, was that just a result of him being out in the spring?
Hadn't played, yeah. Hadn't played and hasn't been healthy, and it's hard to establish yourself as a one or a two, especially when you haven't been out there. So we're really happy with the rehab work that he's done this summer. I think David started to grow up a little bit. It always happens at different stages for different people, and his growing up, his maturity mentally and physically is important to us as we move forward, because he's a very talented football player.
Would you like to go back to a way where you could have a neutral game and have the same number of home and road games in conference, or do you like it the split 4-5 where it goes back and forth?
No, I don't like the split 4-5. And with the fact that we're going to continue playing 9 games, which I am in favor of, I'd be in favor of working out a 4-4-1 type of split to keep it even. Kansas and Kansas State are certainly the first schools you look at, because you could play at a site like Arrowhead and both folks can get to. You're not interested in I'm not interested in playing at Texas school in Cowboy Stadium or something like that. There's nothing about that favors me. There's no neutrality to that. So if it remains 4-5 and I get that 5-game year, that evens out. But keeping it even every year with a 4-4-1, I certainly see the advantages to that.
So if K-State called you again and said maybe let's try this, you think
We'd
about it?
certainly look at it, and quite honestly, we have. Jamie Pollard's not opposed to it, and we're always looking to exhaust those kinds of opportunities. But two parties got to agree on them, and it's got to be right over time. It can't be just a Band-Aid, a quick fix type of thing. I think we knew less about TCU and West Virginia certainly a year ago, but this year's teams are going to be different than those groups. So I don't know if we have a leg up this year necessarily. It's good to have a library of film and thoughts and things on paper, so that certainly won't hurt us.
I guess a little bit of a disadvantage, or was it a little bit more difficult than usual preparing for a conference opponent that you hadn't yet faced last year?
The fact that we played West Virginia last, probably no, because you got a whole season's worth of film to watch, and you can see how they've changed and adapted to injuries or whatever it may have been, and as well as our football team changed as you go through that. TCU, we saw more mid-season. I'm not sure exactly what the date was, and any time after Game 3, there's generally enough on film that you can put together a game plan that you're pretty comfortable with, and then offenses are always going to spring new things on you. That it doesn't matter. You're going to have to adjust to that on the sideline.
What was your recollection of that TCU game last year? Because obviously you were preparing for one quarterback and his tendencies in the offense with Casey Paul. Then the switch, that was difficult on the TCU end, but for them, but also for you, for a guy you haven't seen.
I would argue it was equally difficult for us because we had to prepare for both. We knew there was a chance that that the switch could be made, and so when you're preparing for half, you're certainly not fully executing on the practice field and your game plans what you'd want and exposing your kids to that. So, but we needed to and we had to. He was a very talented football player, and we knew enough seeing him on film that he easily had the skill set to beat us and beat anybody in the league. So we were very fearful of either quarterback that we were going to face.